We have Omar Bradley, seat number 4, Emma Sharif, number 5, Andre Spicer, and number 6, Marlow Wilkerson. In our opening statement, please address the 4 questions that we are prepared by the Compton Chamber. And those questions are, you have each 4 minutes to answer all 4 questions. First question is, who are you? And what shaped your leadership values? Question number 2, why now are you seeking the office of mayor? Question number 3, one result you delivered with limited authority, and what changed because of your leadership? And question number 4, when trust is low and emotions are high, how do you lead without escalating the situation? We're going to ask candidate number 3 to go first. Okay, that's no problem. Sorry about that. Yep, so we'll start with seat number 1.
Good afternoon, Compton. First, I want to give honor to God and thank everyone here for being a part of this conversation, as well as those who are watching by YouTube. My name is Inez Tootie Adkins. I'm a lifelong resident of Compton. I'm a longshore worker. I'm a mother. I am a retired mortuary executive, and I'm a businesswoman who has always believed in serving people. I spent my life working with people, serving families, and building relationships right here in the great city of Compton. What shaped my leadership values is how I was raised. I was taught to lead with respect, to be fair, and to listen, and to hold everyone to the same standard. That's how I lead today. I'm clear, I'm consistent, I'm focused, and I'm focused on real accountability. Because I believe that's how you build trust and get things done. I'm running for mayor because our city has been stagnant for far too long. And it's time for that to change. The people of Compton are tired. Tired of being overlooked, overtaxed, and underserved. And that's why I stepped up to run for mayor. Right now, there's a real disconnect in City Hall. The residents aren't being heard, and they are being left out of the conversation. They're not seeing the level of service that they deserve in their neighborhoods, and that is affecting the morale in our city. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm running to change that. I know how to bring people together. I know how to bring people together and get things done. I'm going to do that by bringing transparency and real accountability. Because the trust in the city has been broken. And that's how we rebuild it, by delivering results that people can actually see, feel, and count on. Oh, what does this mean? My time's up? Oh, wait. Okay. One example of my leadership was bringing a Foot Locker store here to the city of Compton. That was something that I did without holding any formal position in the city. The goal was to bring economic activity to the city. The challenge was getting a major company like the Foot Locker to see the value in investing in Compton. I worked directly with the decision makers. I helped bridge communication. I stayed consistent in pushing that opportunity forward. Today,
clarity, the yellow light for candidates means you have 30 seconds remaining. Red means hard stop. Now we have candidate number 2, Bishop L.J. Guillory.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Bishop Leroy Guillory. I was born, raised, educated right here in Compton. I want to thank Dr. Johnson, the Chamber of Commerce, and all of you who are here today. I want to thank Councilman Spicer, Mayor Emma Sharif, our 2 councilwomen from the 4th and the 1st District for coming and showing your leadership by being here today. It's very important that if we love the city, that we show it. What shaped me is when I was a little bad youngster running around the streets here in Compton. I had an opportunity to meet a man who was the first black mayor of Linwood. As we moved around the city, we ended up in Linwood. Though I finished my school here in Compton, Mayor Inez took me as a deputy mayor at 16 years old. He then started to assist me and other young black men to understand politics. Isidore Hall, Eric Lee, and a slew of other people. Ken Swift, who was the president of the college here at one time. So what we learned is we learned, number 1, how to campaign. We learned, number 2, is you don't choose to be elected. The people have to choose you. The city mayor card won't get you an appointment at Maestro's if you don't have a reservation. But if you have a passion for the city, let's talk about what shaped me. When I came back to Compton, I was already the Ombudsman General. I had 50 states and 6 territories. I was working directly with the Justice Department. They have conciliation specialists who don't have law enforcement capabilities. They don't even have investigative capabilities. But when they go into a community, when there's been a tragedy, they go directly to the Justice Department and they turn in their reports. That spiraled a FBI investigation. So I felt overwhelmed to be able to be in that situation. When I came back to Compton, Compton was on the list of most dangerous cities of America. And in doing that, there was a mayor who said, listen, we need to do something to get our name off that list. So we started working together. Compton got off that list, believe it or not, for years. We have an opportunity now to deal with the elephant in the room. Why am I running? I'm running because I was your public safety commissioner. At the time I became your public safety commissioner, we had street vendors, we had street takeovers, we had home invasions, we had high rapes, we had enough, crime was at an epidemic level for Compton. Now most of us who were born and raised here, we remember what it was back in the 80s, when the dope was here, when the CIA said, yes, we put the dope in this city. So some of us were POWs of the money. But what we have to do now is we have to realize that we have a chance as stakeholders, and that's what you are. When you look around and you see your neighbors leaving out of their house that they've been in since the 50s, many of them have lost their home due to can't pay their taxes. So what I'm doing now is I'm running to not only fight to lower the taxes so that we don't save it. We are in a situation this city can go into receivership. And if it goes into receivership, it's going to be just like this college, just like the school district. They're going to leave us with a shell. It's time to stand up and fight. Thank you very much. My name is Bishop L.J. Guillory.
Now, seat number 3, Omar Bradley.
Hello everyone, it's good to see all the faces out here today. We've spoken about voter apathy throughout our community, and it doesn't appear that there's much today. I see many faces. I'd like for there to be more, so the next candidates forum, please everyone speak to someone, because you see on social media people talking about there's no activity, we don't know who's voting, and we need to reach out to our community a little bit more so we can bring more people in so we can, do a little bit more. So, I'm sorry, let me take this. Who are you and what shape your leadership values? My name is Omar Bradley. I'm the son of former Compton Mayor Omar Bradley. I'm the third generation Comptonite. My grandfather was one of the first black business owners in Compton with his gas station on Rosecrans and Central. Many of you probably know. Luciano and Central, excuse me. I left for a little bit. I really didn't want to run for office this time around. I have my Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice. From then I moved on to my Master's of Public Administration with an emphasis in city government. And I'm currently working on my professional doctorate in business. I was doing these studies because I wanted to come home and give back to my community. I got kind of tired of people having great ideas to run for office, running for office, getting a position, and kind of slacking off when it was time to do the hard work. A lot of people love to run so that they're in the newspapers. A lot of people love to run so they can have the title. A lot of people run for the notoriety. I didn't do that. I took my time and I studied because I needed to know what was going on in Compton. I needed to understand the street takeovers. I needed to understand the graffiti. I needed to understand the lack of funding and how these things are interconnected. What crime displacement is and how it affects you. These are the things that I decided to take up because I said Compton deserves better. Compton deserves someone who's going to actually go to school and learn what is required to be the best person that they can be. We've been on a 20-year decline, a downhill slide. I spoke at a candidates meet and greet before, where I said everyone up here, everyone elected, everyone here is doing the best that they can, and I will not blame any administration for anything that has happened in the past. These wonderful individuals are doing a great job to the best of their ability, and hopefully at the end we'll be able to give them all a round of applause. I didn't really want to seek the office of mayor. I was asked by some seniors, hey, you need to, you know you're in school, we know you want to finish your doctoral of business before coming back to run, but Compton is number 483 out of 483 cities in the state of California, and we are in dire straits. So, knowing that we don't have businesses, knowing that we have the graffiti, knowing that we have the potholes, knowing that we're 483 out of 483 cities, I decided to come home and do the best that I could. Fruitful leadership, number 3, number 4, fruitful leadership, and when trust and emotions are high, how do you lead without escalating? There was a council meeting last month, And at the council meeting, it got pretty heated between two sides. It was about Richland Farms, and it was about parking. One side wanted to talk about their cultural effect, the other side wanted to talk about their cultural effect.
Now we're going to move to seat number 4, Emma Sharif.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank all of you for being here today. It's great having you here. My first question is this, who am I? I am Emma Sharif, a young lady born and raised in Forest City, Arkansas. I've been in California for 50-some-odd years. This is my home. I've been in Compton 30-some-odd years, over 30+ of those years, where I've raised my 4 children here. They attended our school here. I am a mother. I am a grandmother. I am a teacher. I am a city council person, past city council person. I am a Compton Unified School District Board of Trustee. And I'm also the mayor, your mayor, Emma Sharif. Now, one of the questions that they were asking is this: how this shaped my leadership. My leadership and values came from when I was a child in Arkansas, sitting in a classroom, integrated classroom, and not understanding that the teachers that was teaching me really did not want me there. So it caused insecurities, and it's also caused me to question my own self. But by the grace of God, I'm here. And I've been in this city, as I said, over 30+ years. And so that answers the first question. The other question was, why am I now seeking the office of mayor? I'm not seeking the office of mayor. I already hold the title of office of mayor. I'm seeking re-election to this position. And the reason I am seeking re-election to this position is because there's a lot of things that need to be done in the city. We have started moving a lot of things forward in this city, and I am very proud of those. We have invested more money into our infrastructure, which is our streets. Over $50 million is being invested into our streets project. We also have spent over $10 million in order to make sure that we address the issue beginning with our streets. But we also have other things that we are doing as well. We're talking about our sidewalks that need to be fixed. We're talking about those sidewalks, because with those sidewalks being fixed, it really does help us as far as making sure that it keeps down our liability costs. When I first came to this seat, we was 4 years behind in our audits. 4 years behind in our audits. Now we're working on 2025. We are 1 year will be caught up with these audits. So I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of the council members and the stance that we've taken in order to make sure those things happen here in the city. One is that you delivered with limited authority. Our teacher bridge. With the relationships that you have with people in the elected officials, as on the state level and the federal level, I champion them and talk to them in regards to our teacher bridge. That our teacher bridge has been down since 2020. And we really needed that bridge out. It was important. That bridge out there is extremely important, not only to the city of Compton, but also the surrounding cities as well. And by doing that, we were able to garner $12 million and to make sure that bridge was repaired. When I was on the school board, I championed something again that was not familiar, but also something that actually brought a lot of resources their time coming to the school district. And that was the ERP program, the Emergency Repair Program. That emergency program financed 28 schools there with roofing, with the football fields, and all things, anything that needed to be done at that school site that they had reported to the state that was done through that program. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll move to seat number 5, Andre Spicer.
Thank you. My name is Andre Spicer. I serve as the 2nd District Councilperson here in the City of Compton. I also serve as the Mayor Pro Tem. A lifelong residence. My family's been here for 5 generations. We've been in the City of Compton for a little over 65 years. The question is, what shaped my leadership? My history as an entrepreneur. I've been a serial entrepreneur pretty much my whole life. I've owned clothing lines, travel groups, podcast studios, coffee shops, beauty salons, health stores. This has helped me to understand budgets, helped me to understand how people operate, understand temperaments, body language, just different types of personalities and managing those personalities. Why am I seeking office today? I believe that the city needs strong leadership. I believe the city needs vision. I also believe that you need to be relatable to everybody in the city, not just the senior citizens, not just the African Americans, but also the Latinos, the youth, the gang culture, the transient culture. You have to be able to relate to everybody so you can address everyone's concern. The next question was, one result delivered with little to no authority. I'm going to say shutting down the illegal dispensaries. When I first got here in Compton, we had a lot of illegal dispensaries. They were all over the city, and it had been an issue in the city of Compton for a very long time. At that time, the city was shutting them down and giving them a fine of maybe $1,000. By the end of the day, those dispensaries was opening back up, and the business would continue as usual. What I did was got with one of the law firms that we already had hired, and we started working with that law firm. Since then, they've been able to shut down about 90% of our legal dispensaries and have gotten the city awarded up for $188 million in judgments from shutting down those illegal dispensaries. That was an issue, again, that you all had voted against several different, at least twice. You voted against twice, and we could not bring you results. Since I've been in office, we have definitely brought results to this day. And then you say, when trust is low, emotions are high, how do you maintain trust? It's simple, it's dialogue, it's communication. It's having I do lives, I do Facebook lives and Instagram lives to just have our community have dialogue. They want to ask questions, they want answers. A lot of times in City Hall over the years, we have not been able to answer people's questions. People want to know when their streets are getting fixed. If there's a situation with ICE, what is the city doing as it relates to those situations? I've been able to address those by having town hall meetings, by having live conversations, by having dialogue with my community, and I'll continue to do that to make sure that we have transparency here in the city of Compton. Again, my name is Andre Spicer. I serve as your Mayor Pro Tem and 2nd District Councilperson. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're moving to seat number 6, Marlow Wilkerson.
Hello, City of Compton. My name is Marlow Wilkerson. I am a licensed realtor. I am a Toastmaster. I am an educator. And most of all, I am a proud born and raised right here in the City of Compton. I went to Longfellow Elementary, Walton Junior High School, and graduated from Compton High School. My journey started a long time ago. I was blessed to be put in as a leader at a very young age. In my retail world, I ran 5 of the 7 top 10 stores at Sports Chalet. You guys remember Sports Chalet? Okay, I guess this side over here, maybe not so much. A $10 million store per. My background was in marketing. I was set to go out through stores, put them together. I'm going to skip all the way down to number 4 because this part is imperative to what I'm saying now. When morale is low, conflict resolution. This is something that I am very well skilled in. It's all about communication, touching each individual, finding out what makes them move. It's the same thing when we come to our city. What do you want as members of our city? How am I qualified as a leader? I mentioned Toastmasters. Toastmasters is an organization that's in 147 countries. I led District 1, which is our district here, all the way up to Santa Monica Mountains, to Orange County, Downey, to the water, to the #1 distinguished district in the world. We were number 10. Try leading individuals that are all volunteer. There's nothing to hold over their head, ladies and gentlemen. In a workplace, you have your checks, you have your livelihood. Feeding people that are volunteers is very accessible. And we did that. We did that. Why am I running for mayor? Ladies and gentlemen, it was said earlier. It's time. Decades without a proven plan, a system put together that's measurable. Something that is something we can absolutely foresee coming. We have it, ladies and gentlemen. We just need to put the right individuals in the right places to make these plans come together. And I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, as politicians, we never promise anything. But what I can promise you, that I will show up, show out, and absolutely get the job done. There's one more question here. I think I've answered them all. One way to kill a big dream is tell somebody with a small mind. As running for mayor of this city, not only do I want to put back what I got in, but I want to leave us in a better position than what we found it. My mother always told me, if you're the smartest one in the room, you get another room.
At this time, we're going to move to segment number 2 around governance, structure, and role clarity. We have 3 questions, and each candidate will have 1 minute to answer each question. But we would like for you all to remain seated while you're answering your questions. The first question, again, you have 1 minute to answer each question. The first question is around charter and authority. What does it mean that Compton is a charter city, and how does that affect what the city can decide locally versus what is controlled by state law? The first seat will come from seat number 2.
Thank you. Bishop Guillory is my name. Leroy Guillory. Compton was chartered in 1888. As a chartered city, we were chartered with the United States government. When we make ordinances here for law enforcement to enforce, many of those ordinances must also not surpass our federal charter that we have. It's important that we understand, being self-governed, that the politicians don't have the unrefutable right to just put mandates, ordinances, and laws on us. We have the ability to take up an initiative, put it on the ballot, and change it. So that's what we're doing. Thank you.
Seat number 3. I'll restate the question again. What does it mean that Compton is a charter city, and how does that affect what the city can decide locally versus what is controlled by state law?
So the state of California has 8 charter cities, right? Or what are you telling us, we have to sit down?
Yes.
Oh, okay, well, we stood up last time.
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean, that's fine.
And that's why I waited through the first segment.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Listen, are we going to rescind my time? No? Okay. So the state of California has 8 charter cities. Compton is one of them. All right? Now. Okay, you know what? I'll answer that next round.
Out of all fairness, we want you to go ahead and answer the question.
But my time has been taken up with people telling me to sit down. I can't
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. At all fairness, all fairness, we'll give him an opportunity to address the question. If you could please be seated. Yeah, we'll give you an opportunity to address the question. And I'll restate the question again. What does it mean that Compton is a charter city? And how does that affect what the city can decide locally versus what is controlled by state law?
So, the state of California has 8 charter cities. Compton is one of them. That means that we are special. However, our cities are considered by tiers. Tier 1 would be over 100,000 people. That would be Los Angeles. Or even let's go on the other side and say New York. We are a Tier 3 city, but we have adopted things that harm our cities as Tier 3 cities, like multiple nonprofits. Those nonprofits compete with our city governance for funding. Now the state of California says, we're going to get funds from the federal government, and those funds are going to go to the state of California, and we are going to split those funds up between the cities that have 100,000 people or less. As I said before, since we are number 483 out of 483 cities, and the state of California is telling us that we are the most cash-strapped and the least.
Thank you. We'll move to candidate number 4.
Thank you. It says demonstrate understanding of how the city government is structured, and what the mayor can and cannot do. The city governance is structured in a manner where the city manager really runs the city. City council set policies. And we can set our own ordinance, and we can do resolutions. However, those ordinances cannot supersede the federal government nor the state government. Your ordinance have to be in line pretty much with what that state and federal government is laws are. Yours cannot supersede theirs. And what the mayor can and cannot do, the mayor is limited pretty much to enforce our charter as a ceremonial mayor, which means we work as a team on the council. The mayor and council work as a team. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move to candidate number 5.
Thank you. Can you repeat the question for me, just so?
Yes. What does it mean that Compton is a charter city? And how does that affect what the city can decide locally versus what is controlled by state law?
Okay. The city's been a charter city since 1888. It's pretty simple. We govern ourselves. We do our own ordinances. We govern ourselves as it relates, with respect to the state and federal laws. The charter can only be changed with the vote of the people on during an election. So I mean, that's just a basic answer for me.
Now we're going to go to candidate number 1. I'm sorry, 6. All right. Yeah, candidate number 6.
If I can make this clear, as a charter city, we have rules and regulations that we have to follow. To where the other cities are based on the government and the state itself. By us having a charter, we can do our own rules as long as they fit within the rules of the charter. If you guys are interested in the charter, I suggest that you look at it. One of the things that we cannot do as a mayor, a lot of people believe that we have the power to control the board. That is the city manager's job. The city manager runs the city from day to day. As the mayor, we are the political face of the city.
Thank you. Now we move to candidate number 1.
Okay, so the state follows state rules. The state has their own rule book. And because we are a charter city, we can write our own rules according to, within limits of the charter. And we have to follow our own rules.
Thank you. Now we're going to move to the second question. The second question is around taxes and fees. What can the mayor and the council actually control regarding local taxes and fees? And what can they control? And what levers does the mayor have to improve values for taxpayers, even when lowering taxes isn't immediately possible? I'm going to start with candidate number 2.
So, as your mayor, I will be pushing the issue to take the 1947 tax on the property that pays the pension for employees. That will give the homeowners, property owners, the break that's needed. 25% of our taxes that we pay is paying the pension of our city employees. Only 12 cities in the whole state do this. So I think the mayor should always push to ensure that there are people that own property that can pay their taxes. And you shouldn't be forced into a reverse mortgage to do so. The mayor's job is to fight for you. He can't do anything, or she can't do anything else but to tell the truth. And the truth is, the taxpayers need a break.
Thank you. Now to candidate number 3.
So as Mr. Guillory said, the taxes, the employees' pension is on the taxes. And we did have an administration that paused our PERS payments. Now what you are paying is the current PERS and the previous PERS and any accrued fees. So what I would do is I would go to Wall Street. I would have Wall Street buy the debt, refinance it, and pass those savings on to the residents of the city of Compton. That can be done. A mayor can do it. It has been done before. Under the last question, people said that the mayor has limited authority. Yes, the mayor does have limited authority. However, the feedback me.
Can you turn off your mics down on this end? They're off.
So it has been done before. I know that people say that the mayor has limited authority. That is true because under Woodrow Wilson, we went to a city manager council form of governance and we moved ourselves from the mayor council form of governance.
Thank you. Now we're going to move to candidate number 4. You want me to restate the question again? Yes. All right. This is around taxes and fees. What can the mayor and the city actually control regarding local taxes and fees? And what can't they control? And what levers does the mayor have to improve values for taxpayers, even when lowering taxes isn't immediately possible?
That question is continue to taxes concerning depends on our taxes.
One second. We can reset the time. We can reset the time as we make the adjustments on the mic. Yeah, we're going to reset the time. We'll reset the time.
Can you hear me? Okay. It depends on the tax. If the tax is being taxed, if the city itself is being put on a ballot, we can control it in that way. And if we choose to put it on or not do it. Unfortunately, when you take a look at taxes that's being passed through the state, through the state, that's a little different because you don't have any control over it. The only thing you can do is hopefully at that point when it's going on the ballot, I would encourage all residents to understand what is going on when they come to the taxes and make sure that you at some point you start calling your elected officials there in Sacramento and let them know what their concerns are in regards to the tax that they are being
All right. We're having some technical difficulties with the mics.
now.
Thank you, sir. So we have 15 seconds.
15 seconds. That is how the taxes really work. It's because if you, a city is actually put it on the ballot, then you can manage it in that way. However, like I stated, if the federal government, I mean not the federal government, the state is putting a measure on, that is nothing you can do. What we can do is lobby, call, and I would suggest take buses and go to Sacramento.
Thank you. Now we move to candidate number 5. Yes. Now repeat the question again. Around taxes and fees. What can the mayor and the council actually control regarding local taxes and fees? What can't they control? And what levers does the mayor have to improve values for taxpayers even when lowering taxes isn't immediately possible?
For me, it's simply having the best interest of the residents in your mind. When I first got into office, in the first 3 weeks, I had to vote on a Republic trash bill, if you guys remember. And at that time, it was a vote to put it on your tax bill, put on your tax roll. At that time, I realized we didn't go out to bid. I had no idea that I had just got into office. I didn't know that the city didn't go out to bid. So we didn't have any other options on the table. And our council decided to vote to increase your taxes by adding this Republic tax bill on your tax roll. So again, having the community in mind, one. The second thing is our city right now, we have the best benefit package as you're vested in our system after 5 years. We pay for your full medical after 5 years. We don't pay for it, the taxpayers pay for it. It's on your tax roll. That's probably the biggest tax bill on your tax roll as well. My time is up, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. Since it was her administration that was being spoken of, she should have the opportunity to rebut.
At the same time, we're going to move forward and keep things.
But he directly addressed the mayor's administration. She should have the opportunity to rebut whether or not the taxes were placed onto the residents.
I understand your position, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we give every candidate an opportunity for equal process. With this time, we're going to move to candidate number 6.
Thank you. I will actually make it quick because there's not a lot that can be done, and what could be done that needs to be voted on among the council to move forward with that. If you want to look and see as far as our charter goes, please look at section 1400. But there's a couple of things that we can do, but it is a challenge, something that we need to address with the state.
Thank you, sir. Now we'll move to candidate number 1.
Yes, thank you.
As your mayor, I would ensure.
Hold on one second. We're going to make sure that we start the time over again due to the technical difficulties of the mic. We'll make sure that works. All right.
Okay, as your mayor, I want to make sure the residents know what they're voting on when they vote on bonds. we always, the bonds are just going up, and that is causing our property taxes to go up. And a lot of people don't understand that. So I think we need to make sure our residents are informed on what those bonds actually do. The schools are getting hundreds and millions of dollars, and our taxes are going up. Pretty soon, we're going to be bonded out, and nobody will be able to afford to live here. Secondly, my goal is to bring more economic development here into the city of Compton. That way, our taxes won't rise any higher, and the development, the new businesses will contribute to keep the taxes down.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we're going to move to our third question for each candidate. And the third question is, as mayor, how do you set expectations for results and drive performances through the city manager without crossing into administrative interference? Give one example of the proper channel. We're going to start with candidate number 2.
Thank you. I like that they start with me. So the mayor is the ceremonial mayor of the city of Compton. You get one vote. And the previous administrations have voted over and over again with the city manager, the controller, and those are the only 2 people that they're able to hire. Administrative interference is when a mayor or a council person go in and tell the city manager what to do. You should not interfere with the city manager's job. You are to get with your other colleagues and initiate a policy, and then he carries it out.
Thank you, sir. At this time, candidate number 3.
The mayor would like to know which page that question is on. Oh, you don't need to know, okay. Can you repeat the question?
The question is, as mayor, how do you set expectations for results and drive performances through the city manager without crossing into administrative interference? Give one example of the proper channel.
Well, as I said before, the city manager is the person that handles the day-to-day business, but the city manager is not the person who makes the final decisions. The city manager only presents to the city council what the options are, and the city council votes on those options. Now, I would say that we need to look at certain things like KPIs, key performance indicators. I would say that we need to have budget forecasting. We need to have forecasting when it comes down to what it is that we would actually like to see. For instance, if I'm going to pay 1 mile of street, and I decide that 1 mile of street, I'm going to pay $8 million for that mile, and it's going to take 6 weeks. If it goes over to 7 and 8 weeks, I need to look at the KPIs and find out why we went past it, because everybody knows that once you go over on a project, you fall behind and you end up paying a lot more money. So, you know, these are the things that we have to look at. I don't think that we've had any KPIs. I don't think we've had budget forecasting about. I don't think we have anybody that knows how to look up at Excel and can check the financing and double check the city manager's work before it even gets to the council. And also, we haven't had many public hearings in a while. We need to have public hearings to let our
Thank you. Now we're going to move to candidate number 4.
In order for you to govern without going to the administrative interference, is through your policies and your procedures. The council sets the policies, the city manager leads staff, is responsible for carrying those policies and procedures out. That is how it's done.
Thank you. Now we'll move to candidate number 5.
Thank you. You have to work with the city manager directly, because that's your only employee. And what you do is you set benchmarks and you put timelines for those benchmarks, and you make sure that those benchmarks are hit in that particular timeline. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to candidate number 6.
They're turning the air conditioner on right now.
We can reset the time due to technical difficulties. Your mic, is it okay? Let's get him a good mic. We can get a good mic. All right, this time is ready.
Communication. Can I stand and just, okay, so, communication. These is the work that you do prior to setting everything up. You need to have smart goals and make sure that they are on. This is exciting. The communication is the key. You find out exactly what's needed, make sure the individuals doing the job have the things necessary to do their job. And while we're doing this, everyone is held accountable. Now we have incentives. If you can do these things prior to and within a time frame, things will be a lot better. So it's all about the communication up front. This is what we need, this is how we need it, and this is the time frame that's needed. If any of those things are out of that, we hold them accountable.
Thank you. Now we move to candidate number 1.
So I'm aware that the mayor does not run departments.
All right, we'll reset the time for candidate number 1 due to technical difficulties.
But the mayor does set priorities and expectations. And I will work closely with the city manager to make sure those priorities are clearly defined and carried out. Also, keeping the council aligned so we're all moving in the same direction. So, like the gentleman at the end said, communication. Communication is really the key.
Thank you. We're going to move into segment number 3 around governance and readiness. And each candidate will be given 1 minute for 3 questions. The first question is around tax burden. Residents and businesses feel Compton's overall tax burden is too high. What specific local taxes/fees would you prioritize reviewing first? And what is your realistic pathway to lowering the burden without destabilizing essential city services? I'm going to like to start with candidate number 1.
Can you read the question again, please?
Tax burdens, around tax burdens. Residents and businesses feel Compton's overall tax burden is too high. What specific local taxes/fees would you like prioritizing reviewing first? And what is your realistic pathway to lowering the burden without destabilizing essential city services?
So while I'm out in the community, most people are concerned about the pension. We're paying their pensions, and that's why our taxes are high. I do have to explain that that's not an easy out. There's not an easy out. And if we try to take it to Wall Street or try to get out of it, I believe our city will go bankrupt because it's going to cost a lot more. It's going to cost us if we try to get out of that. Now, I explained the taxes previously in the previous question, and so that's what I would do.
Thank you. We'll move to candidate number 5.
Thank you. How do we lower the tax burden on the residents when you said it's too high? How do we, can you repeat the question just so I'm clear?
Residents and businesses feel Compton's overall tax burden is too high. What specific local taxes/fees would you prioritize reviewing first? And what is your realistic pathway to lowering the burden without destabilizing essential city services?
From my understanding, the highest tax that our residents are receiving is the employee benefit package. And it's because the residents are paying for employees benefit package after 5 years of being invested. Most companies and organizations, you have to be invested after 20 years before you get lifetime medical benefits. It's a great package for residents, for our employees, but it works against our residents. Again, you guys pay for those benefits, so that is the highest thing on there. And how we address that is that we increase that from vested in 5 years, and we make that investment after 20 years. That will take effect on the first new hire after that law is taken effect. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll move to candidate number 3. And I can repeat the question.
Please do.
Yes, sir. Residents and businesses feel Compton's overall tax burden is too high. What specific local taxes/fees would you like prioritizing reviewing first? And what is your realistic pathway to lowering the burden without destabilizing essential city services?
So first, we got audit everything and make it transparent for the residents of the city of Compton. Let them see every dollar, every dime, especially Metro P. Secondly, what we would do is we would understand that we need to hire more employees. See, incentivism is hire more employees because the city is supposed to be the largest employer around. So when you have employees, maybe 600, maybe 700, which is what we are supposed to have, they're paying into the employee pension too. And that incentivizes them to get up and do the work. They're going to go to work and do it because they don't want to see the trash on the streets that they have to live here and look at. The next thing is, oh, red again, or yellow again. The next thing is, if this table is Compton, and this booklet is Los Angeles County, which they keep taking portions of our city away from us. What do? When they drive our streets to go to Food for Less, they drive Compton streets. When they take off from their houses in the county, like Rosewood, and drive to the 91 freeway, they drive our streets. We need to charge them.
Your time. Thank you, sir. We're going to move to candidate number 6.
Technology at its best. This is a very intense situation because it requires multiple years for things to actually show. Having bonds create taxes. All the things that the gentleman that was just spoke on have these taxes. So in order for us to get to this point, we need to be able to capitalize on what we have and try not to spend as much moving forward. We inherited a lot of these taxes, therefore we're the brunt of it. So moving forward at this point, we have to make sure, look at what we're actually spending taxes on and how to move it forward and possibly taking it from the community.
Thank you. Move to candidate number 2.
You know, I have this saying.
You can play dumb, but you can't play smart. Everybody has abilities that are greater in certain areas than others. For far too long, we have people playing with our money as if it's monopoly money. This initiative that we have now will tell all of the persons that's in the city, our treasurer included, we can't take it no more. I'm talking about 25% of our tax money that's going into the city will not destabilize the city. Because number one, they're not supposed to touch that money anyway. And when people are talking about what they could have did or what they should have did, they were on the council, they were before being the mayor. So if the audits wasn't done, you was on the council. Hell, you were even on the audit committee. So we have to drop these taxes off of our seniors before they lose their homes.
Thank you. Now we'll move to candidate number 4.
Thank you. I want to make sure I understand the question.
Yes, I can repeat that.
Okay.
It's around tax burdens. Residents and businesses feel Compton's overall tax burden is too high. What specific local taxes/fees would you like prioritize reviewing first? And what is your realistic pathway to lowering the burden without destabilizing essential city services?
Thank you. If you take a look at your tax bill, and I hope a lot of people do, is that people are constantly talking about the taxes that's for the employees. However, there's 4 bonds on your tax bill. You have 2 at this college, you have 2 at the from Compton Unified School District. And when you take a look at that, that is really a lot for your taxes on been paid to them those funds. Now, how, when you talk about trying to reduce them, decrease it, we've been talking to our auditors as far as the tax the tax bill was put on there back in 1947, 46. Yes, I know that is something that people really are concerned about, and so am I. My taxes go up as well. But what I'm looking at, and what I'm looking at, according to your charter, it states that if you remove that, you have to replace it with something else, and which means that could actually end up costing a lot more and causing a lot more damage to our city than trying to remove it.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to move to the third question around aesthetics. Compton's appearance impacts pride, safety, and investment. What is your 90-day clean orders, plans, cleanliness, lighting, graffiti, illegal dumping, and what will residents see first? We're going to ask candidate number 5.
One more time on that question, please.
Question again for number 3. Compton's appearance impacts pride, safety, and investment. What is your 90-day clean orders plan, cleanliness, lighting and graffiti, illegal dumping, and what will residents see first?
Okay, so what I've noticed that works is lockouts for parking traffic along the boulevard and for our homelessness on Alameda. Those lockouts have been very instrumental in helping address those immediate areas. It's a small, quick fix, but it's not a permanent fix. But that addresses some of our issues. As it relates to lighting, is to work with Edison to bring more LED lights to the city of Compton and make make them responsible for maintaining the lights that they do have in our city. That's a loaded question, and I only have 60 seconds. The other thing was, okay.
Graffiti, around graffiti, cleanliness, lighting, and legal dumping.
Graffiti we've addressed with having paint that you can spray the graffiti off of. We have a new paint that we've okay, thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move now to candidate number 1. Let's start our time over due to technical difficulties. Make sure you get the mic. All right, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Start your time.
I will work through the city manager to deploy the right departments for immediate cleanup. At the same time, focus on prevention, improving lighting, increasing enforcement, and targeting the areas where it's happening the most.
Thank you. We'll move now to candidate number 6.
There's several programs that we can use to utilize the services without spending a whole lot of money. As far as the graffiti goes and the cleanup, we can use individuals that are having service in time that they need to work out if they're incarcerated or having to pay off a bill. We have sections that we will break up. The north, the south, the east, and the west. The graffitis will go out every single day. We take it off as fast as they put it on. Our alleys need to be clean. These are things that won't cost a whole lot of money, but the community will see immediately. As far as the street lights, if it's lit, most people that want to do bad don't want to be there. So we light up our city, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Now we'll move to candidate number 2.
Thank you. Number 1, I'm tired of 50 churches, 9 nonprofits signing off on papers for community service. I say that if you have community service in the city of Compton, you come to the city of Compton and you do your community service. You're gonna fix our streets, you're gonna paint our walls, you're gonna have those orange vests, and you're going to pick up the trash. Now, once the gangs start seeing their homeboys in neighborhoods that they're not supposed to be in, they're gonna think twice about writing on the wall. The other thing is about the illegal dumping. I had told the city council, let's take their vehicles. Take their vehicles and sell them. Okay, you come and you dump in our city, we get your license plate from all these cameras, and we come to your house and impound your vehicle and sell it. That's how you do that. Zero tolerance for crime. Okay, and I'm not with allowing young girls to walk up and down the street naked and say we can't do anything to them. Yes, you can. Lewd and lascivious acts. Now we're gonna have you. You want to walk down the street? You gonna walk down the street with an orange vest. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to move to candidate number 4. Number 4, if you want me to ask the question. All right. Your mic on?
It's working.
All right. Compton's appearance impacts pride, safety, and investment. What is your 90-day plan to clean quarters, cleanliness, around lighting, graffiti, and illegal dumping, and what will your residents see first?
Well, my 90-day plan would be the lighting starting, which is something we've already started doing. A lot of the lighting has been switched out by Edison. Unfortunately, we have to do our part. And once that's done, I know it would light up the city. And the cleanliness. Well, we can put them all in orange vests if we want to, but however, I believe that we have to start learning pride for our own city. We have to have pride and look at it and want to make sure our city is clean like other cities. And if you take a look at just Compton going into Long Beach, it's a good example. And that's something I think we need to really start having more discussion with our community about, is making sure that we do have pride in our community and making sure that we are cleaning up the trash and not just throwing it out. And I have to agree that when we talk about people doing illegal dumping, I do think that we have to be more, have a more no nonsense tolerance in regarding it. I think that if we catch them, if they have a car, then naturally we have to address that.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll move to candidate number 3.
So crime displacement is real. One common denominator that we have is our surrounding cities, most of them are patrolled by the sheriffs. The sheriff department and other policing departments, they only care about getting rid of the crime in their town. That crime has to go somewhere. That crime comes to us because crime follows blight. Crime follows low lighting. Crime follows graffiti. I'm uniquely qualified for this because I was there when my father created Project Clean and Green and Project Redirect, where we took children who were constantly in trouble. We decreased recidivism by giving them jobs to cover up the graffiti, and they knew who was writing on the walls better than the police officers did, and they would go to their friends and say, hey man, I'm tired of covering up your work. Stop writing on the walls. We have to get these kids active. We have to give them opportunities. We got to let them know that we care and get them involved so that they're the next ones running for mayor and you aren't out here wondering who these candidates are. So we need to start charging. We need to start charging the sheriffs for it.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we move into our segment number 4 around public accountability and ethics. This segment is about standards, due process, transparency, and trust. Again, we'll have 3 questions, and each candidate will have 1 minute to answer each question. The first question is this: when incredible allegations arise involving misuse of public resources or ethical misconduct, what is your 72-hour protocol as mayor? We're going to start with candidate number 6. The question is, when credible allegations arise involving misuse of public resources or ethical misconduct, what is your 72-hour protocol as mayor?
Again, this is another example of no tolerance. No tolerance. So when we have issues, and if we stand on them, and we have things that we have in place to make sure that individuals are not continuing to do these things. So if they come in any way, shape, or form, and they violate anything that we have to do, we have to stand on business. Consistency is key. You make example out of a few individuals, and it's no longer a problem. You have to continue to move forward, and we cannot self-choose. We're going to be really hard in this area, and someone lacks on this area. We have to continue to move forward. So consistency is a major deal with this, and we have to make sure that we follow the law and extend it to it.
Thank you so much. We move now to candidate number 1. Make sure your mic is ready before you start.
Can you,
Repeat the question?
yes, please.
Yes. First question is, when credible allegations arise involving misuse of public resources or ethical misconduct, what is your 72-hour protocol as mayor?
When the crisis arises, I have to work with the city manager to get the appropriate departments to make sure the right response is coordinated. And then communication. I have to let the community know what is going on. And then after that, it's about follow through. We want to make sure the situation is handled, we have the resources in place, and that we learn from that moving forward.
Thank you so much. We'll move now to candidate number 5.
Within the first 72 hours, I'll be pushing to launch investigation and then just be consistent with whatever that process is. I think we lack the consistency in all departments. So again, straight start, the first thing I do is launch an investigation. Thanks.
Thank you. Now we'll move to candidate number 3. You need for me to restate the question?
Go ahead, please.
When credible allegations arise involving misuse of public resources or ethical misconduct, what is your 72-hour protocol as mayor?
Well, I would have to say that those two words are a little loaded. Credible allegations. Allegations aren't often credible. But the council has the right to subpoena. I would call a public hearing. I would allow the public to come out and be a part of that hearing. And I would have the council sit and talk to the individual. And if we need to censure while we have an investigation, and update the residents on the investigation, because these seats do not belong to the council nor the mayor. These seats belong to you. So the fact that there is no activity is showing that there's a cog broken in our system. I mean, just to add a little levity, I just asked for a brief recess so that we can get these mics figured out. I was told no, because we can't get the mics figured out. And that kind of bothers me, because we're talking about asking about credit card charges, and we can't even get the mics to work.
All right, your time is up. Thank you, sir. We can move now to candidate number 2.
Thank you. So you say 72 hours, so I'm going to say that I would request an independent review from the top law enforcement person in our city. I would also, since this is a personnel matter, I would not go public or talk to the community about it, because it would hamper the investigation. Once that investigation has been concluded, I will bring in our state and our federal authorities, because at that point, we're talking about mismanagement of resources and money. In the city of Compton, we've watched millions of dollars walk out the door of our treasury. So at that point, it is a crime, and I would prosecute it to the fullest extent. And I would also say that it's important for us to be the example that we want to see. So from the perspective of protecting that person's rights, I would only do it insofar as not go public until after the complete investigation was done. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move to candidate number 4.
When the allegation is first brought to light, I think that the first thing we should do is the council should have a meeting with the city manager, and we should take a look at what those allegations really are, and we should immediately have an investigation done in order, because people talk about censoring, but you're probably going to have an investigation done before you can do any type of censoring. So you follow the process. You have the censoring, and you have the investigation done. Wait for the information you get back from the investigator, whoever that he or she may be. Then from that point on, you start moving as far as making a decision as to what you're going to do and how you're going to address it. But at some point, you do have to let the community know what is happening, what is transpired, because that is what causes a lack of trust in the community. With our residents, is we have to make sure that we're trying to do things in a timely manner, and also making sure we're not leaving them outside where they have no idea what is going on.
Thank you so much. We'll move now to question number 2. How do you enforce accountability while protecting due process and avoiding political retaliation? Let's start with candidate number 6.
Overtime with the question, sir.
How do you enforce accountability while protecting due process and avoiding political retaliation?
I'm going to ask each and every individual separately, privately. This is how we want to do things. I'm going to need you to give me your best, and most importantly, get it in writing. This is something that we learn as HR individuals. You document everything that you talk about and how that process goes. I do not believe in putting people in front of a whole lot of people to recommend them. So you do these things privately, therefore you only gain their respect and their sense. And then we want to do all of the things possible to do our jobs and make our city better. So this is more of a conversation and then followed up by paperwork and keep documentations in place.
Thank you. We'll move now to candidate number 2.
Could you repeat the question?
How do you enforce accountability while protecting due process and avoiding political retaliation?
So number 1, we have administrative leave with pay. That's number 1. So the person is not being penalized. They're able to go home while still receiving a check while we investigate the facts. With regards to, ensuring that the Personnel Commission, which I sit on as a chairperson, everything in that commission is confidential. And if you start telling the information to your friends, then it's going to get out. And if it's not substantiated, then that person then have their reputation marred. And then they become very hostile to any witnesses that you have. And then reprisals will follow. So we have to do everything like it's supposed to be done professionally with an HR director that stays in our office for more than 2 years.
Thank you. Candidate number 4.
Pastor, will you please repeat the question?
How do you enforce accountability while protecting due process and avoiding political retaliation?
The way you protect that is by making sure that you keep everything confidential until you have information that you can share with the community. Because that person's life is in our hands, and we want to make sure that in the process of doing whatever, however it may turn out, you want to make sure that you have not somehow violated their rights in the process. So we're making sure that you can keep things confidential until you have the opportunity to actually share with the community, because the community most certainly need to know at some point.
Thank you. Candidate number 1.
I definitely believe in investigating all of the facts first, working with the HR department and what have you, then I believe in full transparency to the residents of Compton, bringing them to them no matter what the situation. I understand we have to keep people safe, but what about the residents? What about our money that's walking out the door? So I believe the residents need to know all of the time.
Thank you so much. Candidate number 3.
One more time with the question, sir.
How do you enforce accountability while protecting due process and avoiding political retaliation?
Okay, so due process under the law includes right to notice. Secondly, the mayor and the council can only pass policy and resolutions. That's it. That's all that the mayor and council can do. So the rest of it is minutia. We can't sit up there and say, I'm going to go into a closed door and I'm not going to put the business on the street. That's illegal because it's the public's business. We have to have the right to notice so that you know that something went on. We might not get into the specifics of it, but if somebody takes some money or if somebody's under investigation or if somebody is doing something that's not ethical, you have the right to know because it's your money. Imagine going to the bank and giving them $300 to deposit and somebody puts that money in their pocket and you see them do it. What are you doing with my money? It's not your money anymore. You gave it to the bank. No, it is your money. It's a part of the process. And this is why I went to school to get my bachelor's of science in criminal justice.
Thank you. Move now to candidate number 5.
You have to have a transparent process. You have to have documentation. You have to review the job descriptions. You have to follow the city ordinance and city municipal code, and then you just allow the city manager and HR to do their jobs. Again, as Mr. Bradley said, it's not our job to discipline anyone. So again, I'm going with getting all that information. We're going to the city manager and we'll let HR do their job. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move to the third question. In the first 30 days, what 3 visible actions would residents see from you to rebuild trust? Candidate number 1.
In my first 30 days, I will implement a clear communication system. I will establish a citywide infrastructure and public safety tracking system. And then I will set performance expectations with the city manager and provide regular updates so the residents can measure progress.
Thank you. Candidate number 6.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. In the first 30 days, what 3 visible actions would residents see from you to rebuild trust?
Transparency. We need to have a thought-out process where they can track everything that we're doing as the leaders in the city. When we're doing the streets, when we're painting up graffiti, when we're adding lights, all of this you can go on to a website that they can look at and see firsthand in real time the things that we are doing. We hear you, we're taking action, and these are the ways that we're going to do it where you can follow.
Thank you. Candidate number 4.
Thank you. In order to build, did you say trust?
In the first 30 days, what 3 visible actions would residents see from you to rebuild trust?
Transparency would be the main key. And also, for instance, you have a payment management plan put in place so people would know when those streets are being repaired. Because that's the main issue, one of the big issues that we have here in the community now is people want to know when those streets are really going to be repaired, when are their streets going to be repaired. And their pavement management plan gives you direct guidelines as to what streets are good, what streets are bad, and how it's been, which streets you're doing. And you are doing your bad streets first, then the committee have to put up on and make sure it's on the website, make sure they have access to give that information, and so they can see for themselves what is happening with those projects. And that I think with the transparency.
Thank you. Candidate number 2.
First thing I would do is I would do reconciliation. I would tell all the previous elected officials and office holders and persons that have fleeced the government to tell the truth. Okay, and after that reconciliation, if we investigate and we find out that you stole money, you took hero pay, or you did anything you were supposed to do, you're going to jail. And that will let the people know that we're about our business. In 30 days, we will ask them to either come and sign papers and tell what you've done and go away, right, or go to jail. But we need to get the trust back with the people. And all of the money that's missing is a shame. And so the people want to know about their money. They also want to know who took it. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate number 5.
Thank you. First thing I want to do is have a state of the city. We haven't had one in this administration. I believe that the residents need to know exactly where the city stands, where we've been, and where we're headed. I also want to activate our public access channel. Our public access channel has not been active in some time. We only show the council meetings, but we should be having interviews with residents, with department heads, with your council person, with your mayors, just so you can have clear understanding as to where they stand. And then just live conversations. For me, I'm on social media a lot, so I like to do a lot of live conversation, a lot of live dialogue. And when I do that, I get a lot of feedback from residents. They get asked questions, they get answers. That is my time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Candidate number 3.
Can you repeat the question, sir?
Yes. In the first 30 days, what 3 visible actions would residents see from you to rebuild trust?
Well, this is interesting because normally during an election in the first 30 days, we run into a dark month. Notice. We have 9,000 people per mile here in the city of Compton. We have been putting the cart before the horse. We are building on Compton Boulevard. We are building these townhomes, these apartments, but we have piping that's over 150 years old, and some of them are made of wood. We aren't doing the right thing. And when we try to do the right thing, we do it backwards. We will notify you of what's going on because you have the right to be told what's going on in your town. Now, we have some beautiful buildings going up on Compton Boulevard. I imagine they'll probably have 140 or 150 people living in them. That's a condensed area. Do you think it would cost more to change the pipes out after you build the building on top of the pipes? Or should you take the pipes out before you build the building? And this is notice. So that you can go back and say, hey, I need a hearing so that you can, I'm sorry. It gets good to me.
We're going to now move into segment number 5. And again, there's going to be 3 questions. And each candidate has a minute to answer each question. The first question is, when you need majority to move the city forward, how would you build a working coalition through shared goals and transparent negotiation without trading away integrity and compromising good governance? Candidate number 5.
Can you give me that question one more time, sir?
When you need majority to move the city forward, how would you build a working coalition through shared goals and transparent negotiation without trading away integrity or compromising good governance?
Well, you don't wait till you need majority to build a relationship. You have to build a relationship from the beginning. And then also making sure that you are aligned with your your colleagues. If we all see Compton to be, we all want to build up Compton, we tend to all align at some point. My ideas shouldn't be threatening to you. My wins should be your losses. So having those conversations, having those dialogues, and then just making sure that we're staying on the same page as it relates to moving the city forward. That's the main goal. We might not always agree, we might not even like each other, but we all love the city of Compton, and we all want to move the city forward. So it's about building up that conversation long before we need vote the majority. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate number 2.
Thank you. Number one, I have respect for Ms. Darden and Ms. Duhart and anyone else that will be serving on the council, and respecting that it's not about me, mine, I. So I would communicate with them about the issues in their district, and then let them know, as the mayor, it is my job to work with every council person in every district, because it's all Compton. And number one, when someone gives an invitation to me, it's not just me, it's to my colleagues as well. So respecting them is going to let them understand that this is about us. This is about Compton. There's only one Compton, and it's not about me, my, or I. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate number 6.
This starts with the communication. From day one, we sit down, we map out exactly what we want to do, how we want to do it. And if you know these things up front, there is no fight between one or the other. Because at the end of the day, it's not about us. The gentleman is absolutely correct. It is not about us. We all are here to move this city forward. With that being said, all things, all together, moving forward. So if we have some type of conflict, we would talk that out in private, find out exactly what that is, and possible, how could we make this better? You have a conflict that we're having in District 3. We talk about that. District 3 is always getting moved forward. How can we make that happen? I would like to have a lottery, if you will. You vote. What streets are going to be done first? Of course, the ones that are worse and the ones that are absolutely in dire need.
However, if it's something that we can move from one district to the other, we have a conversation and we agree as one.
Thank you so much. Let's go to candidate number 3.
One more time, the question, sir.
Yes, sir. When you lead majority to move the city forward, how would you build a working coalition through shared goals and transparent negotiation without trading away integrity or compromising good governance?
All right, great question. We gave away our ability to lead. Compton is at large. We can't do vote by district. Because when you have vote by district, council members are allowed to set up little fiefdoms where they are only beholden to the people in their district. And it disenfranchises the rest of the voters.
And so, let's look at this for a second. I know they're going to give me the gold paper and the questions I'll answer later. Let's look at this for a second. The mayor is the only individual that's voted on by everybody, but the mayor has no power. 1/4 of the city gets voted on by 1/4 of the city. So if I got a problem with, I'm only using you as an example. I have a problem with District 1 and District 4, and I live in District 3, and I see a District 1 and District 4 Hassling in District 3. I can't join together with anybody to get rid of District 4 and District 3. That is disenfranchising you, the residents. But there was a remedy in the charter, and the remedy was once we reach 100,000 people, we add 2 seats. We just need to follow the charter. I know it's my time. I know it's my time. But
It's your time. It's your time.
my mic has been off.
It's your time.
My mic
It's your
has
time.
been cut.
It's your time. It's your time. Thank you, sir. We're going to move now to candidate 1.
So
All right, due to technical difficulties, we'll restart the time. Just make sure your mic is functioning before you speak.
Thank you.
All right, we'll start now.
I too have the highest respect for the councilwomen. They have known me since I was a tot. So I will start by aligning with the council members, understanding their priorities, and finding where we already agree. And then we will build from there. And then we move it. From there, we move to what is in the best interest of the community.
Thank you. Candidate number 4.
Thank you. You know, I believe that in doing one thing, let's try to bring everybody together. And I believe in doing that through priority setting, one of the retreat with all the council members, the mayor, council, setting those goals and setting those priorities. That is what I think will keep us moving forward, because it's not about first district, second district, third or fourth. It will be about all the districts, because we're setting the goals and priorities for the whole city, and that will keep us on track and keep us moving forward. But we have to make sure that we stay focused on those things and we set as opposed to moving on, trying to move over to other things. Once you finish something, you move on to something else, and that's how I believe that we need to do it, how I would address this. And we've had a retreat before, and I think it went really well, because we were able to set those all our priorities with the city manager, so we know where we're going.
Thank you so much. Now that takes us to the second question of segment 5. The second question is this: what meeting standards and governance norms will you set to improve conduct, reduce dysfunction, and ensure meeting produced decisions while still protecting strong public voice? I'll read that one more time. What meeting standards and governance norms will you set to improve conduct, reduce dysfunction, and ensure meeting produced decisions while still protecting strong public voice? I'm going to start with candidate number 1.
For me, that's pretty plain and simple. Disagreeing is okay, but disrespect, we will not have that. Just plain and simple.
Thank you. Candidate number 6.
One more time with the question, sir.
What meeting standards and governance norms will you set to improve conduct, reduce dysfunction, and ensure meeting produced decisions while still protecting strong public voice?
Starting in the beginning. We have to make sure we are under one accord. And if we disagree, that's okay. But we have to put the community and the city first. So if there was something that we disagreed upon, we can talk about that in-house, make sure that we're all going for the same thing to make this happen. This is not a typical question or a confused one. Why are you really here? Why are you really representing our city, etc.? Because it's all about the city. So there's going to be disagreements, but we need to come together as one and move this forward. I don't even like using the term, but take one for the team today.
Thank you. Candidate number 3.
So when we sign up to run for office, we pay $500 for our signs. If you're running for mayor, it's $2,500. English and Spanish in the booklet. If you're running for a district seat, it's $1,500. Those are the requirements, and that you live in the city of Compton. But here's what I would add. When you sign up to run for city council or mayor, you will also sign a waiver agreeing that you will take a 30-day charter class and a 30-day moral and ethics class. If you can't take the class in moral and ethics in the city charter for the first 30 days, then you don't deserve to be there, because that means you're not willing to serve the people. Now, we have had people come up and they've gotten on the council and things have happened, and they said, I did not know that this was wrong. That is not their fault. That is our fault, because we are supposed to set the things in place to make sure that when they get up there on the city council, they know the job. They don't fall into the pitfalls. This is what leadership does.
Thank you, sir. We'll move to candidate number 2.
So, of the rights that we have is to protect our civil liberties. And I believe when I was the chairman of the Public Safety Commission, as well as for any other commission, you are allowed to have on-the-job training. You have to know your charter. You can't lead if you're not a leader. And if you're by yourself, then you're not leading, you're just taking a brisk walk by yourself. So for me, I say, I love what he's saying, but it's up to us to make sure that we vote for the right person that's going to fight for us, respect us, and show us the accountability through their actions. Thank you.
Could you please repeat the question, please?
When you need a majority to move, what leading standards and governance norms would you set to improve conduct, reduce dysfunction, and ensure leading produced decisions while still protecting strong public voice?
For me, I think that I do believe that there's governance classes that should be taken prior to when you decide that you want to run for office, so that you have a better understanding as to what is expected. Now, can that be done? Can you enforce that? That would be something that the council would have to actually have a discussion about. But it would be up to us as a body to make the decision as to whether or not this is something that we want to enforce and move forward. But it should be, I think when people come and take the seats, they may not understand everything that's involved. And I think that that's something that should be addressed. It's not about, and yes, you should come with the idea that you are going to be, that you're going to follow whatever guidelines is there, but unfortunately sometimes that does not happen. And so I think that, moving in that direction would be something way to address it.
Candidate number 5.
Thank you. As I understand the question, we're talking about meetings and governing those meetings. Thank you.
What leading standards and governance norms would you set to improve conduct, reduce dysfunction, and ensure leading produced decisions while still protecting strong public voice?
I don't think there's anything that we need to do. There's already rules of decorum in place. We just need to follow them. We need to just simply follow the rules of decorum, be consistent with it, remove the violators, and that will manage to have a more successful meetings and governance. It's just that simple. We already have those in place. We just need to enforce it. Thank you.
Wow. You know, number one, as the mayor, you should know this answer. And unfortunately, we've seen that when there's conflict, you cannot act on impulse. You cannot act on some information that you got from someone else. Leadership is within you. Yes, we do study leadership, but when you first come to the people, you must give those individuals the ability to know that you've been elected by all of the people. So therefore, you can't be the person to just throw anybody under the bus. A leader is going to say, listen, I'm having some issues between my colleagues. What we're going to do is we're going to take a recess, go into closed session, go into the room, and we're going to resolve it. And when we come out, as many of the councils before us, we're going to come out with a positive resolution because you all elected us to do the job. And that's what we're supposed to do.
Can you repeat the question again?
When the council is divided and the public is frustrated, what will you communicate publicly? The what, when, and how, so residents' truth and progress without complaining conflict?
So I have to agree with my colleague next to me. The public elects us to move things forward. If we cannot agree, I make sure that we all get together and come up with a solution because we have to make decisions for the public. I would let the public know I'm all about transparency, so I would let the public know that, hey, we do have a conflict, but we are going to resolve this. We are working together, all of us, and we are going to resolve this and bring answers to you, the people.
I believe you have to center the conversation in facts and goals for the city of Compton. And once you have that discussion with your colleagues and the community, you then move forward from that point. But you have to root everything in facts and goals. A lot of times we get caught up in our emotions and how we feel about certain things. Sometimes those emotions and feelings are based off of your own interpretation of what's going on. So if we're discussing the facts and we're talking about the goals of the city, we can recenter the conversation and move forward. Thank you.
Will you please repeat that question because the last question they asked I did not answer and I apologize to the community.
The question is, when council is divided and public is frustrated, what will you communicate publicly? What, when, and how, so residents see truth and progress without inflaming conflict?
I think what I would report to the community is that we do have a conflict in regards to this particular issue. However, we will have some information with you within a period of time. If we say we can have information to you within 2 weeks, we make sure that they have that information within 2 weeks period. But we let them know that we are definitely working on their behalf and trying to resolve the matter.
We are 10 square miles. If we use the proper asphalt, it's $8 million per mile. That's $800 million that we're going to need for Measure P, plus another $200 million for parks and beautification. We have 2 bonds from our school district at $350 million apiece. That's $700 million. We also have 2 bonds from Compton College at $100 million. And we have another bond of $44 million for our water. Who has $1 billion? Those sure are some expensive turkeys and backpacks that you guys get every Thanksgiving and every time before school lets in, right? What we need to do is we need to be honest with you, and we need to let you know how much money is coming out of your pocket. And then we got to let you decide. I mean it about those pockets in the county. When I'm in Rosewood and I see that the county has paved Rosewood, and those people of Rosewood got to go to Food for Less, but they got to drive over 97,000 potholes, somebody has to pay you for that because
Can you repeat that question, please? I will let the public know as soon as possible. However, there are things that we need to withhold to keep the integrity within our group. Now, in a situation of this matter, if we can't come up to an agreement in some time, maybe we should adjourn the meeting. Sometimes people need time to calm down, depending on what it is, and we will re-adjourn and talk about it and make sure that we let the community know. You cannot absolutely just go out and throw anyone under the bus, because it will deflate the team as one. So in order to be able to move forward, we need to make sure that we are on one common goal, we come to an agreement, and the public will be aware of everything moving forward.
Yes, this time section would be, again, one minute during the section as well. This is for the candidates. I have the question for them covered. Yes, and that question again to the candidates. Tell us one decision you would make as mayor that you already know will be unpopular, and explain why you would do it anyway. We would like to start with candidate number 5.
Thank you. I'll touch on a very sensitive topic today. Permitted parking. I support it 100%. I believe that we need to have permitted parking 5 days a week, 12 hours a day. That is where I stand at it. I know some people feel differently about it in Richland Farms specifically, but that is where I stand, and I won't change that for a vote. So I definitely appreciate that question. Thank you.
I also agree with permitted parking. Not only will this clear our streets up, we have cars that are parked on the streets for weeks at a time. The only time that they move is when it comes to street sweeper, and sometimes they don't move then. I had a gentleman in our district actually park a diesel on the middle of the street, and was said that I would rather pay the bill than to go and find parking for this diesel because it's that more expensive. So I am in agreement with the parking.
Thank you.
City Hall is extremely uninviting for residents. There's maybe 14, 15 places for you to park. You have to drive around in a circle in order to find some place to park. And then sometimes when you drive in that circle, somebody's pulling out and you just missed it. So what I would do is I would ask the council members to take up an office in the local parks. The reason for this is because the large local parks have parking. We have a large senior constituency, and I would prefer people to be able to go to their parks where they have a place to park, they have time to actually sit and talk to their council person or the liaison, instead of wasting gas driving around City Hall 20 times and not being able to find a place to park. I know that that would not be very popular because nobody wants to be in the parks, but we're here to serve the community, so I think that that would be the best way to go, is to have
our council and mayor have offices in the parks.
Thank you. Candidate number 4.
Well, I do agree with permit parking. However, I also, one of the things I would vote on, it would be not having fireworks in the city. And I know that it's not popular at all with a lot of people, but I do believe it's time for us to move in the direction where we do no longer have fireworks in our city, and that is one way we can actually continue to keep our city clean. Thank you.
Candidate number 2.
I want to apologize in advance to the women in here. This city has spent millions on sexual harassment, where women go to work and are sexually harassed and forced into relationships that they say they didn't want to be in. And the city continues to pay out. I say that it is important to me, as I have a daughter, and I understand. If you have an inappropriate relationship, you're going to jail. Now, there are laws on the books that says a supervisor should not date or have sex or have an improper relationship. So if this person feels like the only way she can keep her job is to do what she has to do because she has bills or children, I think that it's a crime. So I know it's going to be a situation where, oh, that's, I bet you want them to go to jail. Yes. So that'll be it. I'm sorry in advance.
For myself, I'm going to touch on the permitted parking. I disagree with permitted parking in Richland Farms. And the reason why I disagree is because I believe that the whole city should be assessed first and bring permitted parking to the entire city, not just one corner or this neighborhood or that neighborhood. I believe that's unfair. So I would drop that permitted parking on Richland Farms, have an assessment of the entire city, and then roll out permitted parking across the entire city.
Such as fire, earthquake, flooding, and is there a plan to involve the community? Candidate number 3.
So in criminal justice, we have something called a tabletop exercise. The tabletop exercise is a coordination between law enforcement and the city manager and city employees and the council members. The tabletop exercise is for disasters, fires, mass shootings, just things where the leadership knows where our residents are supposed to go, where the safe area is. The tabletop exercise also lets the residents and the council know where we are going to have the linear lineup of sheriffs, so they know exactly the safest route to get to whatever point the city determines is the place to be. So we don't have tabletop exercises. There's also something called a UCR, Updated Crime Report, that comes to your desk, should come to your desk daily. And this is why we should have either counsel there in the morning or full time, because once those UCRs get stale, they're no longer any good. I believe that if we can't really solve the crime right away, then I, as a mayor or city councilman, would like to be at that UCR and call the people who have had their things stolen.
When I sat on the Public Safety Commission, we came up, the fire department came up with a public safety plan, emergency plan. So it would be my job to make sure that each resident in our community knows exactly about the emergency plan, where our meeting points are in your district and this district. So just to make sure everyone knows where they need to go in the event of a catastrophe or emergency.
Thank you. Candidate number 4.
I just I just want to make sure I understood the question. Will you please repeat that?
What plan would you have in place in the event of emergency, such as a fire, earthquake, flooding, and is there a plan that involves the community?
That plan that you're referring to should involve the community, and you have a plan with all the leaders there. You have your sheriff, your fire department, your city staff, because those are the ones that's really going to be running, maybe running and letting you know what is really going on with this whole situation as far as the emergency situation. And so we do have a plan in place. My understanding is in speaking with our fire department, our fire chief, that we are in a situation where we will be okay in case of a catastrophe or with fire or whatever it may be. We should be okay as far as the city is concerned. But I do believe that that's the information that we need to make sure that we are getting out to the community on a more regular basis, and so that they would understand.
Thank you. Thank you. Candidate number 5.
Thank you. As stated, we already have emergency plan in place. I believe Ms. Adkins talked about it being produced by the Public Safety Commission. They worked with the fire department and the sheriff department already, so we already have an emergency plan in place, and we just follow that plan. A big advocate of letting professionals do their job as professionals, and we follow that lead. So, thank you.
Thank you. It's called CERT, and it is the Community Emergency Response Training. I think it's important that we recognize that with what's going on in the world, that if us being here in California, there was a nuclear situation, we don't have a hospital in Compton. Our fire department lost its ability to transport people. That's why we have private ambulance service. You know, this is not a game for me. I'm running because we are in a situation and it is dire. We have no hospital in our city. And if there was an emergency that hit South Bay, because that hospital is not here, you would have to transport elderly people across town. If they're closed to intake, guess what's going to happen? We have to do better. And the first thing that I want to do is to get us a hospital.
Yes, we will definitely have something in place, and this is something that we will go over and update 6 months to a year, things of that nature. This is where you bring in the professionals, the fire department, the sheriffs, and they will come in and teach the council all of these quick outs and how we're going to do things, and then we would roll it out to the community. Therefore, we not only have 1 or 2 ways to get out of the city if there's some type of problem, but there's multiple ways. But we need to keep this updated, and now it's not outdated.
Thank you. That takes us to our third question during our community Q&A section. Third question is this. With property taxes the highest in the county, and with Compton's board rating near FFF, how number 3.
Well, as I said, I would go to Wall Street, I would refinance our debt, restructure, and not pass the savings down to the residents of the city of Compton. Secondly, we need to do an assessment of all the areas in Compton that have been taken by the county. You have to understand, we get paid by our population. So if we're receiving funding for 100,000 people to pave our roads, but we know for a fact we have 130,000 people within Compton, but those 30,000 people are actually being counted to the county, we're being underfunded. And this is why it's important to have the degree that I have of Master's of Public Administration with an emphasis in city government. Because these are daily things that have to happen. And even when we talk about CERT, even when we talk about planning, those things are annual. Okay, those things are annual. We need
how I would lower property taxes. I would bring in economic development that will stabilize our property taxes going up. I would make sure that the community knows about voting on these bonds. As a matter of fact, there's one on this ballot coming up. If you vote on these bonds, your property taxes will rise. I have to make sure that everybody has a clear understanding. The triple F rating, we have to show that we are fiscally responsible. We got to tighten our belt and start showing some responsibility. All of these, the money's going out the door, this and that, we have to stop that.
Thank you. Candidate number 6.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. While property taxes, the highest in the county, and with Compton's board rating near triple F, how would you lower taxes while impacting services?
I will look at all avenues of trying to get some of our taxes sold, if that's possible. At the very end of it, economy, you bring in new, as far as property taxes and things of that nature, that will take some of the heat off of them. But this is a topic that we all need to be aware of, and the bonds are a huge reason why we have property taxes as high as they are. All of the schools, the college, things of that nature, all these bonds bring more taxes. Without the bonds, it's possible that we will be bankrupt.
Thank you. Candidate number 4.
I'm listening to my opponent next to me where he talks about going to Wall Street. That may be a wonderful idea. However, you have to be physically responsible, and which means that you have to have your audits up to date and up to date. When I came in, there was 4 years behind. We are now caught up, getting caught up. But until that's done, you will not be able to get anyone to actually take a chance on you as a city. And so that is so that may be a good idea. So when you talk about the property taxes and everything, you have the taxes, when people look at the bonds and everything, that's a reality. The reality is the bonds do increase your taxes. I know that we want to have great schools. I want to have great schools, but we have to make a decision that this is something that we really want to do as a city.
Your time. Thank you. Candidate number 2.
And I thank the mayor for her truthfulness, but let's be fully transparent. His idea was a great idea, but since our credit is a double F, he wasn't on the council. His dad wasn't on the council when it happened. We got a double F, triple F. All right? So you can't go get money when you got bad credit. You got bad credit. And I don't know where they're getting their tax. Here's mine. I paid $222,859 last year. Okay? And on one part of that tax is $1,600. This is one property. $1,600 for the pension. Those bonds that they're talking about from the school district is $400. Okay? So what I'm telling you is that, listen, when these people are balancing their budget, I don't care how many degrees they have, if you don't understand economics, you can't go to a person that don't have no money and that's not paying these and they just keep signing papers. They're not paying their bills. This is the reason why they had to put the tax onto the for the
Time.
yes.
Time. Thank you. No rebuttal. No rebuttal. Candidate number 5.
Thank you. Just for clarity purposes, our tax credit is no longer near triple F since we've been closing out our audits. So just for clarity purposes there. Also, I'd like to change, again, I talked about it before, the benefit package. Right now, employees are vested after 5 years on their medical benefits. That is a huge part of your taxes. If we change that to the 20 years, we also are doing a salary survey, and we're paying our employees less than what other cities are paying their employees. I'll give an example. My assistant starts off at $50,000 a year here in Compton. Well, in Carson, they start off at $70,000 a year. Huge difference, but we have a better benefit package. If we change our benefit package and increased our wages, we'll get more qualified applicants applying for positions at City Hall, and then we can hire more people, which will effectively change how we service our community. Thank you.
Thank you. We move to the next question from the Q&A community. This question is this: what is the City of Compton's annual budget? We'll start with candidate number 6.
The annual budget is $270.
Thank you, sir. We'll move now to candidate number 1.
Okay. The annual budget for the city of Compton varies. I would have to get back to you with that information for what it is for this year.
Thank you. Candidate number 3.
I'll wait to see when the correct budget comes out.
Thank you. Candidate number 4.
The annual budget is a little over $262 million.
Thank you. Candidate number 5.
I wasn't exactly sure on the exact number. I believe it's around $200 million.
Thank you. Candidate number 2.
So, as the mayor looked it up on her phone, I'm glad she did because I had asked her when she first got here. So, our budget is around $270 million, and it was to be amended because we had a number of things that had to be repaid to the state and to the federal government, grants that were not taken care of, individuals that did not take care of their indebtedness, right? And then since we go through so many city managers and so many persons that work in our grants department, they are doing the best they can with the budget that is presented before them. But they have to continue to amend it because they have to pay money because they put non-restricted funds in with restricted funds. And that's why our budget is the way it is. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one more question before we move into the closing statement. And that question is, do you believe that small businesses are vital to the city economy? And if yes, what would you do if elected to support and encourage the opening of more small businesses in Compton? Candidate number 5.
Do I believe small businesses are vital in the city of Compton? Today, I would have to say no. And the reason why is because we have not been as business friendly in the city of Compton for businesses starting here in Compton. How do we encourage that? By streamlining the process. We know we have issues in our building and safety department. We have had our business and safety department assessed. We know where the issues are coming from. We just need to do something about it. And then again, streamline the process, make it a little easier for people to start their businesses. I've talked to small businesses, I've talked to developers, I've talked to homeowners. That no one likes dealing with Compton and their building and safety department. That is a huge issue in our city, and in order for us to increase small businesses, development in the city of Compton, we have to change our building and safety department. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate number 4.
Is what would I do to help increase the small businesses? Is that the question?
Yes, the question is, do you believe that small businesses are vital to the city economy? And if yes, what will you do, if re-elected, to support and encourage the opening of more small businesses in Compton?
First of all, I do believe small businesses are definitely the backbone of the city, and I do support the small businesses. And streamline the process is one thing to do. However, there are times when they need assistance in getting things done. And that means they may need assistance with getting certain paperwork that they need done. I believe that we need to have a system in place that can help and assist them and make sure that it's taken care of. And so that they can qualify for certain grants and different grants. And that, I think that will help them as far as trying to move forward as far as their business is concerned.
Thank you. Candidate number 6.
Yes, I do believe that small businesses are very vital to our city. In fact, our city is full of small businesses. The process of getting into a small business is very difficult. I know several of them. The hoops and things that they have to jump through when they're going through building their safety is absolutely criminal. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to do better. We have to be inviting. In fact, if we have more cities, we have a ton of space up and down through our cities to do this, to make it happen. Not only will it bring more revenue, but it keeps the money here in our city. So I absolutely believe in it. I believe we need to come up with a system that works strictly for them, perhaps maybe even some incentives to be able to get their business up and running within a time frame, so we can invite even some eco-friendly buildings that make Compton more attractive. I absolutely agree.
Thank you. Thank you. Candidate number 1.
Yes. I think we can all agree that our building and safety is a big issue here. Once we finally get that streamlined, cut all of that red tape, then we should start going after our young entrepreneurs, making sure they know what grants are available to open new businesses, making sure they just know everything about opening a new business. We can assist them. We can hold workshops and let them know that it's all about them. We want to have new businesses come into Compton because it brings revenue to our city. And so that's exactly what I would do. Go after go after our youth and turn them into entrepreneurs, if they want to be, of course, and make sure they know all of the ropes and all of the guidance, give them all the guidance they need to open up small businesses here in Compton.
Thank you. Candidate number 2.
Absolutely. I think that the entrepreneur spirit is very important. However, just because you can do something well does not mean that you can run a business. This college here that we're here on, they have classes that can teach people the etiquette of how to run a business. When you go into a person's business, if they're not friendly, if they're rude, then you don't continue to do business with them. The backbone of businesses here in our community, unfortunately, has a nonprofit behind its name. And so we're not getting any tax dollars from them. We have more churches in our city than they have in some synagogues. You know, I'm just saying, and with all those people praying, you know, and we're not paying no taxes, and then we're sitting in a situation. And I'm a bishop, but I'm going to tell you this: you can't give me money on Sunday. So if we're really going to look at it and we're going to say we're going to help the businesses, let's help the businesses. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Candidate number 3.
So I'm going to double back and say this since I didn't get the opportunity to rebut. In 1992, we had our riots, which caused over $100 million worth of damage. We had a $10 million deficit. Ask me how I know. My dad did go to Wall Street, and he did refinance the debt. That $100 million was hard to pay off, but we did it. But I'm tired of people saying, no, you can't do it. No, it ain't gonna happen. Now let me move forward. Small businesses are wonderful. Yeah, they are the backbone of our community, but so are the people. And as I said before, we have pipes that are over 150 years old, some of them made of wood. And so let's take care of our people first, because I see pictures, I get pictures in my direct messages where people show me their bath water and it's brown. So before we start having delusions of grandeurs and moving forward, we have to do the basic things to get our city where it needs to be. I know it's sex seats that want a movie theater.
Time. Thank you. Thank you. We come to the segment 9, which is the closing statements for each candidate. You'll have 90 seconds. This is your time to summarize your candidacy in your own words. But there's no rebuttals, no opponent references, no personal attacks. Keep your remarks respectful and focused on leadership, governance, and readiness and accountability. We have 90 seconds per candidate. Let's start with candidate number 6.
My administration will use this platform to hold the city manager accountable and mobilize the community and the priorities to ensure Compton residents get exactly what they need, and if someone that's in charge is going to be respectful, inventful, and on time.
Thank you. Candidate number 2.
Transparency. 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 Prosecution. 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 Leadership. Lots of real, authentic leadership. I've been asked to not be so aggressive. When you're passionate about something and you mean it in your heart, it's hard to play. You can't play when people's lives are on the line. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do what I'm going to say. It is important that we stop playing politics, because right now all we get is politics. If there was leadership, you would see it. These problems that are here have been here, and some of the people were here when the problems existed. Leaders are leaders. And I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to pass the mic. Make a change, or it's going to stay the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's go to candidate number 5.
Thank you. Again, guys, my name is Andre Spicer. I'm the serve as Mayor Pro Tem here in the city of Compton. Since I've been in office, first off, let me just say, I'm the only person this side of the Mississippi to ever overturn an election due to voter fraud, ever, here in the city of Compton. Since I've been able to do that, we've been able to address the legal dispensaries, the street takeovers. I've been able to help people get expungements, employment, and housing. We've been able to feed over 15,000 families. We've been able to service over 4,000 families for Christmas. And we've done numerous of things throughout the district. Revitalized all of our city parks, implemented several different programs at our different parks for our youth. Compton, it's time for a change. It's time to have strong leadership, someone that has vision, someone that moves with purpose and intention. I want to take us from where we're at today in the city of Compton and build a better tomorrow. I want to go from what we are now, and I want to move to what's next. My name is Andre Spicer. I'm your candidate for mayor 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidate number 3.
My grandmother wrote many of the laws that allow black and brown and others to be free and equal today. Omar Bradley worked with Hubert Humphrey, but because there was sexism at the time, there are male names on the things that she wrote, not her own. I'm a God-fearing man. Again, I will tell you, I have my bachelor's of science in criminal justice, my master's in public administration. I'm working on my doctoral in business. When I started Cal State Dominguez Hills in 1996, I asked God, please, just one thing. Can I be with that woman back there?
and he granted me that. And from that, I have 4 daughters, all college graduates. I have 7 grandchildren. I'm a man in every sense of the word, and I'm a man of my word. I want to bring what I learned to you. If I can get my children through college, because my grandmother's master's degree hung on the wall as we went to school at El Segundo Elementary School every day. The question was not, are you going to college? The question was, where are you going to college? And that is the success that I would like to bring to your children. That is the success I like to bring to your grandchildren. To give them the opportunities so that they can live a life that's not filled with just Kendrick Lamar.
Time, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Candidate number 4.
Thank you. As stated before, I'm Emma Sharif, and I'm the mayor of the city of Compton. When I first came in 2021, one of the things that you said you wanted your streets done, I delivered. The council delivered. You said that you wanted to make sure that businesses came, economic development came. We have 1, 2, 3 projects going on right now. If you want to know where it is, drive down Wilmington. If you want to know where it is, drive down Alondra. If you want to know where it is, drive down some other streets here. The streets are being done. You asked for it, it was delivered. Everything that you asked to be done, we delivered. So therefore, I am running for re-election for this seat. And because I have delivered on what you asked us to do, we delivered on what you asked us to do. And so I want to say thank all of you for coming out this evening. Again, I'm Emma Sharif, and I'm on the ballot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Final candidate number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, this election comes down to one question. Are we going to keep doing things the same way, or are we ready for something better? I'm going to bring transparency, accountability. I understand the city charter. I understand the role of the mayor. I am going to listen to the people, take you very seriously. I will not just move when it's election time. I will be present, accessible, always. My name is Inez Tootie Adkins, and I'd like to ask for your vote.
Thank all of the candidates. Let's give them a big hand. Come on, you can do better than that. We appreciate each and every one of them. You're encouraged. And it's my prayer that as we move forward, that the community of Compton will come out and participate in their privilege to vote. And it's my prayer also that whichever candidate will win, the other candidates will support to move the city forward, that it will be a better place for all the residents. Thank you so much. It was a privilege, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to serve as the moderator. And thank you, Dr. Johnson and the Chamber of Commerce here in Compton. And continue to put your best foot forward. We're living in some trying times. We have to make sure that we put our best foot forward for the sake of our community. Thank you so much. God bless you.
All right. Thank you, Bishop Sam. And I'd like to say to the candidates, stepping forward to seek public office is not easy, especially in a moment when our community is asking hard questions and demanding real results. So I encourage each and every one of you to stay engaged, continue to do what you're doing. Thank you for stepping up for public service. Thank you for being willing to be ostracized, criticized, as you try to make Compton a better place to live, work, and play. And to the community, thank you for being involved in the civic engagement. Thank you for your respectfulness and being engaged. I ask that you look at all of the candidates, check out their official pages, Don't go by hearsay, go by what they're saying, look at their pages. But the most important thing that I ask you to do is to vote. Your voice matters. If someone got in because you didn't vote, that meant you allowed that person to get in. Vote, vote, vote. Again, thank you for being engaged. Again, thank you, candidates. We do have a taco truck out there. For all who stay to the end, please enjoy the refreshments. I know our candidates probably have to go to another candidates forum. So when you step outside, you will be allowed to go first in line. Thank you to everyone that attended.